Sony's next big hybrid body, the a7 IV, is either right around the corner or a year away, depending on which corner of the internet that you've been reading. Some say it's already in production. Others point to regulatory filings. And one source suggests we should start stocking up on coffee because we might be waiting until early 2026. Today, we're sorting through the noise to see which rumors deserve your attention and which belongs in the bin with that expired roll of codec film that you swore you'd shoot someday. But first, please punch that subscribe button. It means an awful lot to us, and thanks a lot. It's kind of like discovering a penguin in your darkroom. Unexpectedly, slightly alarming, but you'll still tell everyone about it. Good morning, good afternoon, or is it good evening? I'm Simon, your friendly photographic correspondent with a compulsion to dig through all the news and rumor sites, saving you from the time of having to do so. Today we've got news on the Sony a7 IV. Let's go ahead and start with AsobiNet.
Back on March the 13th, 2025, they reported the a7 IV is already in production, but its full announcement may be delayed until the end of 2025, with release possibly shipping in early 2026.
AsobiNet has a fairly good reputation on tracking Japanese supply chain leaks, but they also like to hedge. So when they say possibly slipping, it's their polite way of telling us not to bet the wedding fund on a Christmas release. Over on Weibo, E8M8888
claims that the camera has cleared registration in Asia under the model code WW084220. By Pixnet, they write, the Sony a7 IV will be released before the end of 2025, potentially between July and October.
And yeah, that rumor's already a little bit dated because it's now the second week of August, and July was a month ago. Now, generally when it comes to camera registrations, historically, you would get an announcement within 1 to 3 months of the registration. Well, that slipped now to be 1 to 6 months. This rumor, this source does have a little bit more bite, and again, it's kind of backing up the end of 2025. But of course, so did the rumored Sony a7S IV back in 2023, stating we'd have an announcement very soon there as well. And, well, we're still waiting on that one. Notebook Check chimed in with a regulatory filing of their own.
The listing points toward a March to April 2025 launch window with a 44 megapixel sensor and 4K at 120 frames per second on the cards.
Well, that window has obviously come and passed. We can treat that date as another casualty of the shifting product schedules, but it does give us a bit of an insight into the expected capabilities of the camera. Now let's turn our attention to Sony Alpha rumors, who recently in June 2025 claimed the a7 IV will feature a new 44 megapixel non-stacked sensor, a body and screen similar to the Alpha 1 Mark II, that AI chip, and an improved EF. The earliest possible launch now seems to be late 2025. This is worth noting with Andrea. The owner of Sony Alpha Rumors has been very accurate when it comes to quoting trusted sources. While rumors should always be discounted as unlikely, and without stating whether it's a wild rumor or a trusted source, well, it could be anywhere in between. So where does that leave us here in August of 2025? Well, production has likely started, so there's no new development. Firmware, well, that could continue. Multiple sources align with that. That production is underway. The spec rumors, well, they feel plausible, though a 44 megapixel sensor, non-stack sensor, does bring an awful lot of resolution to the segment. But other cameras in this segment, the Nikon Z6 Mark III and the rumored Canon EOS R6 Mark III, are both providing some sort of stacked sensor, either a fully stacked sensor or a partially stacked sensor. So to have more resolution, double the resolution, without, well, having a stacked sensor, that could lead to some rolling shutter. I'm curious to know what they're able to do in terms of improvement of the readout speed. Now, Sony has been tinkering with AI features in their lineup with that new AI processing chip, greatly improving upon autofocus capabilities. But are they going to do something crazy like, well, Canon has with AI upscaling? I certainly hope not. Now, the dates are a mess. Registration points to a possible autumn launch, and that's where many people are getting their dates. But as Asobi nets slip to 2026, is a reminder that supply chain hiccups are still very real. So if I had to put money on a date, and I won't, the main reason for that is because the last time I made any sort of prediction with a bet, Schrodinger's cat refused to open the box. I get it. Okay, if an announcement is coming this year, it's likely going to be between mid-September to the end of October, maybe even the first week of November. This lines up with historical data. Until then, if you've been holding out for the Sony a7 IV, my advice, keep shooting with what you've got, because there's nothing more soul-destroying than staring at pre-order pages for about 6 months. So are you ready to wait it out for a late 2025 announcement of the Sony a7 V? Or, this isn't a bad idea, is this an opportunity to grab at a discount the a7 IV? Although Sony has been raising their prices lately, so scratch that, but maybe, perhaps, the Nikon Z6 Mark III. Or are you happy with the gear that you've got, and you're just helping out this channel by watching this video to the very end? And if so, let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, I keep sifting through all the noise out there so that you can focus on your photography. Now, if you are interested in purchasing any camera gear from B&H, Adorama, Walmart, or who else do I have down below? Walmart, then please consider using my affiliate links down below, my product links, these guys right here, because this channel is very much viewer supported, and we don't do those pesky Squarespace or VPN sponsorships. I can't speak. First part of the video, fine. Second part, I'm just leaving these mistakes in. Anyhow, I find that those Squarespace or VPN ads, sponsorships, they just get in the way. They're right at the beginning. And I get a sense that it feels, and I've got a lot of channels, favorite channels that use them, and it just almost feels like the videos are a vehicle for the sponsorship. And I just don't like that. But anyhow, thank you so much for watching to the very end. Don't just have a good day, have a great day.